So today I'm going to talk about types of neuron, and I will be explaining it with a mnemonic so that you guys can remember it for the rest of your life. So the first neuron is called olfactory, the second is called optic, this one is for smell, this is for sight, oculomotor is for eye movement, trochlear is for eye movement, and trigeminal nerve supply interior two-thirds of the tongue, and facial sensation, mastication, etc. Abducens help in eye movement, facial is going to supply interior two-thirds of the tongue, and vestibulocochlear is for hearing, glossopharyngeal supply the posterior one-third of the tongue, and vagus nerve is going to supply the supraglottis, and accessory nerves is going to help in head movement, and hypoglossal nerve which supply the tongue muscle, so help in the tongue movement. Now how we will remember it, that which one is the sensory, which one is the motor, and which one is the both. So as you guys can see, the first nerve which is called olfactory nerve, this is for smell, and you guys can see the S word in this, okay. And then the second one is the optic nerve which is for the sight, so there is word S. And the vestibulocochlear nerve which is cranial nerve number 8, as you guys can see here, I can say that you can say something and I will hear it. So say something from this S, you will remember that it is sensory. So which one cranial nerves are sensory? The first one which is for smell, the second one which is for sight, and the third which is vestibulocochlear like for hearing, okay. So this is how you will remember the sensory nerves. Now let us talk about the motor nerves. So which one are the motor nerves? So for the motor nerves, you just remember the movement. Like for eye movement, cranial nerve number 3 is for eye movement, like it supplied the superior rectus, inferior rectus, medial rectus, inferior oblique, sorry. And the fourth cranial nerve is for eye movement, as it supplied the superior rectus, SO4. The sixth abducent is also help in the eye movement, as it supplied the lateral rectus, so LR6. Now the cranial nerve number 11, which is accessory, it help in head tendling, or you can say head movement, so there is also word movement. And the 12 nerve which supply the tongue muscles help in the tongue movement, so you guys can see there is word movement. So from this movement you will remember these all nerves are motor, okay. Like 3, 4, 6, 11, 12 total numbers are, they are total 5 in number, so motor nerves are 5 in number. So if you remember the sensory and motor, all others are going to be the both, okay. So now let's talk about the both, how we will remember it, that which one are the both mean by sensory and motor nerve. Like just remember the nerve supply of the tongue. So in the nerve supply of the tongue, you guys can see here that the interior two-thirds is supplied by 5th cranial nerve and 7th cranial nerve. The posterior one-third is supplied by 9th cranial nerve, and the most posterior part of the tongue is supplied by 10th cranial nerve. So the 5th cranial nerve trigeminal, the 7th cranial nerve is facial, the 9th cranial nerve is glossopharyngeal, and the 10th cranial nerve is the vagus. So all these, if you remember, I already uploaded another videos on the nerve supply of the tongue. So like the nerve supply of the tongue is going to be like both sensory and motor, but not the not this hypoglossal nerve, because it supply muscle of the tongue except palatoglossus, which is supplied by 10 cranial nerve. This hypoglossal nerve help in the tongue movement, so there is movement word, and movement means motor. Hope you guys will remember it.